The most important question an event sponsor must answer is this: how can I ensure that this event meets my objectives? And while you're pondering the answer to that question, I, from my perspective, have an equivalent but different question, which is this: how can I add most value to you, the event sponsor, in my role as speaker? And of course, those two questions have inherent in them a third question, which is: who is this event sponsor that we refer to? So let's clear that up first. That is the person who requires a specific outcome from an event to meet his or her business accountabilities. Now let's face it, it's expensive to stage events. There are direct costs like venue and speakers and catering and so on. There are indirect costs such as taking people out of their normal jobs. And of course there's opportunity costs. Those are the costs of not meeting your objectives, of not gaining the benefits that you're looking for from a specific event. And of course we can't just do it again if it doesn't work out. We might have to wait until this time next year in order to get a second chance. So we must get the value. So the question is this: how can you and I work together to answer your question and mine? Your question was, how can I ensure that the event meets my objective? And my question was, how can I add most value to you, the event sponsor, in my role as speaker? So there are two ways that we could look at this, at these two ways. One is, for example, that we'll agree that I'll occupy the stage for a particular period of time, delivering a standard presentation that is tried and tested, it's slick, it's safe, and perhaps we might measure success on how the delegates rate my performance. But I think there might be a better way, which does involve some upfront work. Firstly, to clarify your objectives. What do you want from this event? What is the outcome of this event? And how will you know when you've got it? Now, often this is a simple, quick step because those things are clear in your mind and they've been well articulated. But it's interesting to note how often it becomes a valuable discussion in and of itself from a client perspective as we explore questions like, well, where are they, the members of the audience? Where are they today? And where do we want them to be? And what is the key message that we want them to take away? Or how will they change what they're thinking, saying and doing as a consequence of their participation in your event? And so from there we get into a collaborative diagnosis in terms of how would you get most value in terms of those objectives that we have just clarified from my involvement. And so we start co-creating a solution which says, what can I do as your speaker before, during and after the event in order to maximize my value? And so it's not so much an event as a process where we develop a menu of options designed to maximize the long-term value of my involvement. It might, for example, be to interview key members of the audience in advance, or possibly external stakeholders who won't be there in advance. It might be to conduct a survey. It would always entail adapting my material to fit in with your objectives and your environment, possibly updating handouts and those sorts of things as well, possibly even follow-up surveys, and even coaching has been in the frame before now. So what we're doing is we're developing a menu from which you will decide what will make most sense in terms of a process that would harness my expertise to the full. Now, there's a key to making this work well, and that is that this is not a discussion that can be held effectively with an event organizer. We require face time with the event sponsor. And I help you to answer your question, you help me to answer mine, and we get to a situation where you are the judge, not the members of the audience, as how my participation has added value to you, specifically in the context of your objectives. So thank you for sharing these few minutes with me, and I hope to chat to you soon about how, even if, I can add value to your next event. Have a fabulous day.